And we are live. That's right. We are back. Have we been here before? No, but we're going to do it again anyway. This is the Minor Points, and we are here with the wonderful, the knowledgeable, the man himself, Mr. QUAK Apilla. How are you, sir?
Doing very well. Great to be here. Thanks, QUAK Duck.
And today we're going to be viewing some Mechabellum absolute destruction with the wonderful 2v2 games. Of course, I know that. I was getting there. With the wonderful Mr. QUAK Duck and QUAK GOOSe, a.k.a. Tony and Simon. Right, so let's get into the game. Who are we playing? Let's bring this up. All good. Okay, and let's see what the boys pick.
Yeah, here we have the opening choices, the all-important which way are they going to go. The quick supply specialist offered here, always a very nice pick. Lots of extra juice to go with. It has been taken there
by Tony.
By T.
This is it.
Mr. QUAK Duck and the supply specialist grabbed up over there. So an economy play here.
So what's the combination of supply specialist and quick supply specialist going to help them out with?
Well, the quick supply specialist starts with 200 extra credits, so you can just really get the ball rolling, run straight off in a direction, especially from the second round, maybe taking an early tech on something to really push an advantage. Whereas the supply specialist, you're just getting that extra 50 around. It lets you do stuff like
genuine economy then.
Yeah, genuine economy. But it lets you do some stuff like open an air unit on the first round, or perhaps some people use a missile on the first round. Just a little extra, just get a little extra something. And what if their opponents, which specialist did they pick? There, so we've got the speed. So yes, we've got a
speed specialist for the guy that QUAK GOOSe is playing,
and the aerial specialist there. So yeah, so we could see some pushing plays, maybe some aggro from the speed specialist. There, as that will help that speed specialist, giving 3 extra speed to all the units on the field under his control.
Okay.
There, which
so we might see a bum rush happening then.
Yeah, something there, like maybe really going for the towers. And then those opening units, so across from...
So this is Tony.
QUAK Duck here. He's facing off against the storm callers. So we've got these missile launching units there.
Right. Very powerful in the early rounds.
Really powerful. Always scary to look at. You never want to get your stuff all piled up. But get drawn into a fight somewhere and just having those missiles rain in, wrecking your day.
And we'll see how QUAK GOOSe is set up. A lot more of a middle kind of spread.
Yeah, he's set up in a kind of slightly forward standard thing, looking for what his
again, we're seeing a lot of storm crawlers as well from his opponent.
We got 2 rockets, the storm crawlers from these guys as well. There's a nice counterplay available here with his those large tanks there. They're called Sabertooths.
Right.
And one of their technologies is the anti-missile device. The missile interceptor. Sorry. Which will just take down the majority of the DPS coming in from the storm callers.
Right. So Simon's made a dash and managed to get the tower, but it still looks like he might be a little bit overrun here.
And boom, that was GOOSe. Yeah, GOOSe's squad go down, but have a nice available counter next turn, perhaps.
And let's see how it's working out for Tony.
Another clash from the 2 ends. Got some Mustangs coming up. They're going to get rid of the crawlers there.
So storm crawlers, not something you see, and they're the ones shooting the missiles.
Yeah,
it's not something you see in later rounds.
It's because they're very easy to counter. In that you can quite a few units have their opposite number. People will often not invest into them, but just keep them on the field because they do nice damage.
And great range.
And they have, and at great range. And they can, and then if someone actively counters them, you can just sell out of them. But if you start leveling them, pulling technology into them, then it becomes even more worthwhile for your opponent to invest in countering it, and then negate what you've poured into it. But what can often happen is late rounds, if no one's got stormcallers on the fields, you can get a unit drop. Very powerful ones, sort of level 3 or level 4 ones, and then that can often be quite useful as they immediately take shields out, things like that.
And once you get a card where you get, say like that, you haven't got storm callers on the board, it's late in the round, and you get a card where you got storms. Does that mean it's then open up so you could buy more on top of that, or do you just get?
Oh yeah, no. If you take that drop, it opens it in your selection.
So it's unlocked for free.
Yeah,
essentially.
exactly. Yeah, whichever unit you choose from the drops unlocks for free. Exactly, and that's why how it sort of sets the values of the drops as well, because they're all meant to be about the same amount. But giants, because there's a 200 unlock cost, your actual sale value can be under another one in the same selection.
Okay, cool. So what you're saying is it costs 200 to open it, plus another, say, 200
400 to buy it.
400 to buy it. So you're then selling it at 400, losing 2.
Yeah, you'd sell it. So you could get the in that drop. It would probably cost you 100 for the card, so you'd sell that. So you'd make 3, but the other 2 is kind of invisible economy, as it's the cost of the unlock card.
Sure.
So if you want the instant cash, it can often be better to go with the 0 cost, higher ranked unlock unit.
Yeah. Right. So it looks like Tony's done double drop on the right hand side.
T coming up.
The tower.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, no, that's silence.
Yes, Si's taking that at the top.
Nice.
This guy's whacked a scorpion on there, which is smashed through T's pack of stangs, and maybe it was sledges.
Yeah, I think so.
And yeah, those storms just raining in, doing their thing. Si got a nice tower hit up above.
Looks like dropped a couple of rhinos.
Boom. So Si's absolutely torn that one apart and is tearing down to assist. T's gone. Rhino coming in hot. Boom. Pops that tower. Smash the storm callers.
Easy peasy.
Other tower dropped as well, and yet Si sweeps up here.
With a bit of speed as well. Walks straight.
Comes in on the assist.
Powerful. So let's talk a little bit then just about basics, right? So building a board, you want to cover the board with both like small units and bigger units, and like we can see here. So we're looking at Simon or QUAK GOOSe.
Yeah, conventionally you want to have some of the smallest units, or chaff as they're known, whose job pretty much is just to die, but to get in the way of the shots and let your key units do their thing for a little while longer before they get before someone locks onto them and starts damaging.
Right.
Then
that's essentially like taking fire, because every unit will lock onto the closest unit to it.
That's right. Yeah. Right. And then once that thing's destroyed, it will lock onto the next closest thing again.
So essentially, you want find yourself a blocker, head to the end zone.
Exactly, man.
Okay, cool.
And then to counter that, you have the opposite. You have the chaff clear. So you have units that are dedicated to getting rid of all those small guys. They usually have AOE damage or
fire.
Splashes and fire, of course, incredibly effective.
Chaff hates fire.
Yeah, chaff no like fire. All chaff dies in fire. And then your DPS units. That could be a giant, but it can also come from a smaller unit that just has a real heavy punch to it. Something like the Phoenix, that was a pair of aircraft.
Okay.
Or the marksman. Yeah.
And then talk to me about speed. So obviously, like we're talking, you're playing a balance between range and then speed of the unit, because like you're saying there, you want your chaff to arrive beforehand to kind of take some fire, while then units with a bit more distance are sat behind them to then start pummeling in.
So absolutely, man. The placement is absolutely key. As see here, see how those crawlers just spread wonderfully round the hounds.
Yeah.
Got just up ahead before, even though there was enormous damage done from all kinds of things there, and it looks like just everything's died.
Seeing an ugly little sandworm play.
We've got a classic, really nice sandworm. Good to see him on the field. We've got a classic oil fire play coming out from. Is this duck or goose?
This is goose.
This is good. Yeah, goose loves a little war crime in the morning.
And for those listeners at home, war crime is mass fire beyond fire with more fire on top. So if you can put oil out and then set it on fire somehow, then we're talking war crimes.
That's it. That's Mechabellum war crimes.
So take a little look at Tony here.
T's come round it, and T's held as well. We didn't actually see T's end there, but he's done his job. Oh no, that was it. I think he put anti-missile on his Mustangs,
Powerful.
which is taking out the main DPS of the opponent.
Right, and then that counters those missiles dropping in from the Stormcallers,
Exactly,
basically making them redundant.
Yeah, at the cost of the Mustangs not firing themselves for that moment, and they won't be 100%.
So what do you mean? So they're not gonna shoot opponents. They're
exactly.
They're
They
shoot,
will just be
focus on rockets.
Exactly there. So if it's democracy incarnate, I'm not sure, but if his opponent manages to get a real good amount of chaff underneath. Then while the Stangs are shooting down the missiles, in theory, so the melee ones can get underneath.
Gotcha.
With them.
And if there's air in the field as well, Mustangs are going to go for rockets before they start.
Exactly. They'd stop shooting at the air targets and take down the artillery barrage. It becomes their primary thing. They'll switch straight to that when there's missiles in the air.
So we're moving into round 4?
Round 4, an interesting round. This is usually the first round where some techs start to happen. Perhaps someone will slip out a giant unit. Even a Titan, not unheard of on round 4. And here we have a melter. Looks like with a nano repair on Goose's side again. This is
so nano repair is a tech that you can put on the melting point, which is
so it's an item. One.
Oh right, an item.
So
okay.
So it comes from a card. So from one of the card drops, he'd have got that. So those techs, the techs that they have are those clickable ones, but you can also buy or be given an item from the cards, which you can then attach to a unit who will get an additional. Yeah, it is a tech.
Yeah,
so,
But now essentially that means it repairs itself
constantly.
4.5%
a second, I believe.
Making it somewhat making some units basically.
This is dealing nicely with the worm, what's we call the wraith there. But the worm does find the tower, and he's going to get in on the melter now.
Now we're really looking at so what happens when the towers are destroyed?
So you get what's known as a debuff. So for an amount of time, which is determined by the level of the tower, your attack, I believe, is reduced by tenfold, and your health by 50%, or the amount of damage that you take,
and just speed. They seem to almost stop.
And an enormous speed reduction, which I'm not quite sure the percentage, but it looks like 50-60%.
Yeah, sure.
But to negate that penalty, if one of your towers you feel is likely to fall due to pressure on that side that you can't counter in that turn, or you don't wish to, you maybe want to push the other side. Yeah, you can spend some credits and level the tower.
The actual tower themselves, you can make that more essentially harder to kill.
100 the first time, 150 the second time, 200 the next, and each time it puts a hell of a lot more HP on the tower. And also reduces the penalty for when it's destroyed.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
So
you can actually spend to say, I know I've gone and I've set up everything on the left-hand side. I'm storming forward there, so there's a good chance my right-hand tower might be taken. So I'm going to make it, when that gets taken, it's not going to have as big a debuff for as long.
Exactly, man. And now here, unfortunately, the Phantoms have locked onto a worm that must have the healing item, the same healing item that we saw, I think the nano repair kit. There, so it's just endlessly repairing the damage.
Okay, so in that sort of stalemate, what happens?
So everyone deals their damage at the end. And unfortunately for our guys, the worms do a lot more than the 3 planes that were still up.
Nice. We got a level 5 Sabertooth.
So I get this. Talking about the economy play here. So it's the relative value of the different things. So each level is worth 50% of the cost of the unit.
Right. Okay. Cool. So if it costs 200 to buy it, I'm costing 100 every time I want to level something up.
Exactly. And then so if it drops, so that one there is
per
200.
Unit.
Yes. No. Sorry. You individually level units.
Yeah. Exactly. So if I've got 3 of those on the board, it's going to cost me 300 then to upgrade everyone at the same time.
If they all accrue the amount of XP in the same rounds. Yeah. Exactly, man. Leveling units is great, especially the chaff clear units. That's some of the most useful things to get leveled, so things start to one-shot all the chaff and then become increasingly effective.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
So that's a level, say a classic chaff clear unit is the Hound. there, which will one-shot fangs, which are a chaff.
Bags of little men, loads,
exactly.
loads of little guys.
The little dudes, man. But they won't one-shot a crawler, which are the melee ones, which have to get in close.
Sure. And they're going like little spider monkeys. Like,
exactly. And so a load of crawler will swarm a few packs of crawlers will swarm a few packs of hounds. But as soon as you've got them to level 2, or you can also spend money on one of the other towers to just directly level damage.
Right.
And once you've leveled it or leveled the tower twice, which would be quite a cost, they will then one-shot them. So they'll then just clear them, instead of the hit, which allows the encroachment of the others.
Gotcha. So it looks like Tony's gone into melters as well to deal with the sandworm problem.
Yes.
Seeing both the opponents with sandworms.
Yeah, they must be wormers.
So rare.
QUAK Duck's got a bit of a proclivity for worming as well.
That's it. It's interesting. Usually the only person on the board who's pulling out sandworms is QUAK Duck.
Worm fan. And he seems to be marching the towers down here.
It's looking pretty good. Let's go over to Simon and see how
Simon just look at that. Just a triumphant squad.
Bum, ba-da-bum, bum, 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 bum.
Coming in, and that's it.
And has this guy got much anti-air?
Lots of anti-air. Yeah. That's kind of perfect to soak that up. What T had left.
Perfection.
Oh wow! And some surprise worms there at the end.
Oh dear.
This thing about them, they sneak along. You just don't know.
Wow. Okay, cool. So we don't see this often. Why don't people a worm's counterable? Because you don't see people using that often.
But they are an excellent unit, but I can never get them to work. And I mean, right here they seem absolutely fantastic. It's not. I just don't have the worm wisdom, man. It's just not clear to me why it is that right now this is premium worm time. Yeah, but it certainly is. I mean, they're just coming thumping in. So T's maybe some more. Maybe it's because there's a little chaff light down there.
Yeah.
But it's also just the weight of worm. I mean, you got this 3 there, a level 2, with the wraith backing them up, which is just clearing the chaff that's coming along, so the worms will stay underground a bit longer, get closer to.
And the fact that they attack and then go underground and then just have that kind of respite from being attacked themselves means that they've got a lot of longevity.
And the dudes pull a couple of techs on them. He's got one that when they surface, they will summon a lil worm.
Yeah,
that comes up just in front of them, so that will then defend them from the opening shot of the melter or your big guy that you're trying to deal him with. And they also have then the final thing, when you pop one, when they die, it will summon 3 of those little worms.
Oh, nightmare!
That's so that it's worms making worms.
Let's have a little look at Tony and see what he's dealing with.
Looks like a little problema. And
QUAK Duck.
QUAK Duck, and also facing worms, he's gone with different technology. He's gone with strike here, which means that the first hit when the worm comes out the ground is super big,
right,
and hits super wide. He's also put sandstorm on, so see that ring of kind of fuzziness around the worms. Thankfully removed now.
And was that void?
That was limiting all range units, taking I think 30% off the range of range units.
Wow.
In that area,
wow,
and reducing their damage, so it's a very effective thing if used correctly.
Sure.
Tech if used correctly. But Sire's just hoovered it up.
This is QUAK Duck.
Sorry, that was Duck.
It is.
Duck on the hoover.
Duck's absolutely he's turned it around. Let's just go over to Simon and see how we're doing.
And Sire, big melter fan.
Right, he's got 2 sandworms to deal with. There's still a melter
and some little worms. I remember those big worms are going to make a few little worms, but I believe QUAK Duck's coming in with the air support.
Thankfully,
there, which worms can do absolutely nothing about. There is an anti-air technology that worms can have, but he does not have it on.
Here comes Tony.
A very rarely used thing.
So is it just the sandworms left from the other guy?
Yeah, just the worms here, and I mean the air should clear. With a melter coming in, but yeah, see that little worm popping up. It's again just very, very effective.
So that almost acts as we were saying earlier. That almost acts as then chaff.
Acts as chaff, exactly. Self-generating sandworm chaff.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just amazing stuff. things that these robots come up with.
Okay, cool. So we're looking here at QUAK Duck.
Round 7, this is where it all starts to get quite serious, as there's just a lot to think about now.
And also economy. You've got a lot of people you could,
Yeah, a lot more to spend
upgrade.
on, and still just that 99 seconds to think in there, and there'll be problems presented by your opponent. You want to present him some, and just as you think, see here we're is this QUAK Duck?
Yes.
Yes, Duck is dropping a rhino in an airdropped rhino in on the right hand side.
So was that one of the cards you got?
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, a Vulcan, sorry. An airdrop Vulcan. Well, so it's, we haven't seen this guy out. He's a big flame unit, a flame giant.
So great for chaff.
Perfect for chaff and anything with low HP. So it's going to cook those storm callers that are next to it immediately. It's going to get rid of a load of chaff. Then the worm will lock onto it and kill it. But it's going to have a lot of just deleterious effect of the smaller units from the word go.
Which will then free up that front line on the
That's
right hand side.
to just deal with the worm and the worm not to have additional support coming in.
Tremendous.
So
let's see, Simon. Well, we've got 24 seconds left.
Sorry, there he's there again committed to acid, war crimes, and melters. It's all of the horror.
So, so who's going to be firing acid?
So these scorpions. See the two dudes highlighted in green?
Yes.
That's a unit called the Scorpion.
Sort of like a mid-level tank.
Yeah, it's a very powerful single-shot DPS unit.
DPS?
Damage per second.
Nice.
So its hit will it will destroy any medium thing. It will just take straight out. Now, Size equips it with an extra thing called acid. And as you see those worms just disappear, that's because he's any unit standing in acid takes 250% additional damage to what it's already incoming.
Now, unfortunately, he's lost his tower here.
They're
from a big old unit.
3 melters sort of trying to hold the line here. It's a very interesting situation. You can't quite see what's happening. It has been stopped, but all the worms have been dealt with this time. And that's a pretty solid defense from GOOSe, assuming that Duck's still there. And a war factory. Good to see the war factory. A Titan unit there, one of the big boys.
Here comes Tony.
Unfortunately,
into the
it
fray.
can do almost nothing against air, except generate its own air.
That's one of the texts of one of the cards you can get, right? So the war factory is the large unit on the right.
Yeah, that super unit there. So one of the techs it can have is generate unit.
Right, cool.
And one of those is Phoenix. So I mean,
huge win
that's an
for the
absolute
Quacks.
slammer. And they seem to have this under control. That the worm problem has been abated. The worm has been drawn.
And that is the beauty of this game, is that I know that they were sat on the other side being like, and sandworms win this game. Suckers!
It looked that way, and now it looks like those worms are hanging on a hook. Sad worms hanging on a hook, man.
And the thing
this is what you know what I'm saying about going worm. This is often my experience. You go worm, you're like, yeah, I've gone worm, man. Look at this guy. He is romping it, and then it just stops working, and your worms shrivel up. You just get rolled. But there are top wormers out there. The worm play is totally valid.
I like it. I like it a lot. But I don't know if it always works.
But again, I'm not good enough. We one day we'll have a pro wormer on the show.
One day
he can take us through
One day. Let's check out Simon, see what he's dealing with. Unless it's a QUAK GOOSe.
So I said, I like acid. I like more acid, even more. There, and it was. I see. We've got the factory needs some acid. That is quite right.
And there's is that a sort of electrical storm coming down?
That's right. Yes, he's taken a card there that's going to bring on an electric storm. Exactly, man, a lightning storm.
So tell me some more about the cards. So each round there's 2 different sets of cards, right?
One set of cards per round. Sorry, each player gets one. We see 2 because both of our guys are getting a card.
Yeah, but what I mean is one round it'll be units, and then the next round it'll be
in every 3 rounds, 1 drop will be units.
Okay.
The unit drops can never be consecutive.
Okay, cool. Right.
So,
And then what are the other cards you get?
so they're all things that they're either things called spells,
Right.
which are things that have an immediate effect on the board.
Cool.
So that Rhino drop that the other round, that was a spell. Lightning, that's a spell.
A nuke.
A nuke, fire drops, a shield dropping, quite a few things like that. And then the others are unit affecting cards, so things that will change how a unit.
For instance, the nano repair we're talking about earlier, which you could then drop
so that's
onto
an
a unit.
item.
Okay.
There as well, which is like the other. I think that's the third class of card.
Okay.
There, so the unit ones will just directly influence a unit. So it might say ranged fortress.
Yeah.
So a unit called a fortress will have 20 more range.
Oh, okay. So like the card is like it goes onto a
yeah,
fortress.
that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
But that will apply globally to all fortresses that you have or get in future from the point that you take the card. But the cards usually have a pro and a con. If everything's good on the card, it will mean the unit costs more. Otherwise, that range will come at the cost of maybe 20 or 30% of your HP.
I see.
Unit. So yeah, that's it.
So heavy loss for the boys there.
Wow, I looked away and like the worms are back online. So we've seen a Titan of their own go on the opponent's board there. That is the what's that guy? The Abyss, of course, the Abyss. Who forgets the Abyss? It's a deep, dark, mysterious place.
What a problem.
And that it's got a great big laser beam that just sweeps across the board and cuts almost everything just straight down. Any small unit, medium unit,
in a straight line in front of it,
vanish. Yeah. They're in a horizontal sweep.
Right.
A kind of like about a 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock sweep.
Mm-hmm.
On there, so some melters going in here. Melters are a great defense usually against the Titan units. One of the only things, because they have one of the greatest features of the Titans is just the enormous HP pool that they have. There, so like a level 2 factory, I think has near 500,000 hit points. I can't quite remember how many the Abyss has. If someone clicks on the blue Abyss, we could see.
Tony, if you can click on that blue Abyss.
Oh, cheers, brother. So 176,000 HP. So yeah, a lot.
Right, and we'll stay with Tony and watch this kick off then. Right, double Abyss. It's also got some horrendous little rockets going. Looks like the Mustangs are dealing with those nicely with their rockets.
Yeah, that's it. They're still there.
And that is
the worms
straight
come
line.
up in the front line. The melter has locked Straylon this time and takes out one of the worms. I don't know if that was the level 3 worm. It might have been. I think it was the only one that was there. Looks like they're going to lock on. Oh no, here comes the level 3 worm. Melters Straylon it. 2 of them.
And the
void. A lot of HP, but it's gone just like that.
Okay, cool.
This looks to have been handled.
Wow.
Well handled. Very nice.
Right, and then what's
and
the
factory, the blue factory though, is pushed through GOOSe. Very effective again. That is Duck. You click on the on the blue factory. So yeah, there we are. That's 400,000. That's the one with the absolute juice box of HP.
And not to mention more.
But here the melters are on. Oh, he brought it down nicely, but it just holds. Whoa! The worm salad that just exploded out the ground. Well, what? Democracy incarnate. Wibbits, respect your worms, bros. Thought the worms had been handled, but they came back. Tremors 2.
And there we go. That is a round.
And that's Mechabellum.
That's
Mechabellum. It swings one way, it swings the other way, back the other way, and then bang, you're in the dust, hating your life, wanting to install the game.
It looked like Team QUAK Gaming had it in hand for a little moment there. But unfortunately, a last-minute switch, and everything fell to pieces. And then we saw it, right?
And straight back in. They're straight back on the horse here. Exactly. And salute them. Some people sit back for a moment, shake their head in despair, hate themselves just a little. But not the QUAK Bros.
No.
Let's go.
That's not Wonder Bread. That's not how we butter our Wonder Bread. Not in this house. No, sorry. Okay, so we're back in. I didn't see who we're playing.
It's the loading screen of wonder. You sit there thinking, what will it be shown? And here we go. We've got an aerial specialist, the Farseer, the marksman, and the amp grabbed up quickly there. That was a hound and saber pack. Sorry, hound and sledgy pack.
And Farseer specialist for Goose.
So a lot of hounds on the board here. An awesome unit, a real cruncher. They can storm forward. They have 10 speed, so they're chaff clear, but they can march. So you can push with. They're very versatile. You can push with them. You can use them at the back. You can have
So let's talk about the game setup, because obviously this is now different. Last time they were kind of back to back. Now we've got on the left hand side we've got QUAK GOOSe, and on the right hand side we've got QUAK Addict.
And I mean, this is a commentator's dream. We can just pan neatly from the left to the right there, see all the action. So yeah, as you were saying, in this one, you're literally shoulder to shoulder, right, charging at each other. I think this is the most authentic. This is the real 2v2 in my point of view. It's you can file as one, and I'm loving what I'm seeing here, Duck. Where we're looking at a symmetrical bow of hounds. There, see it with that little taper there, and they're just going to go in like this mighty arrow. And this is what 2v2 is all about.
And when you're playing 2v2 and you're like next to each other like this, is the middle more of a problem, because like both towers could go?
Absolutely. If you lose the middle, you lose.
Right.
Right. The middle's super important, and these two know that. Let's have a look what we've got here, and we've got a big marksman play from the opponent on the left, and that's it, and the tarantula void eye play from
against the opponent
our guy on the right, against Duck. It's an excellent unit combination. The void eye, the most recently dropped unit, it's just come out. It's a very interesting. It's a kind of trick sniper. It's a high single shot DPS unit, but it can affect the opponent on a hit or when it is hit with its various technologies. A very versatile unit.
Yeah, and also the fact that it can be upgraded to become an aerial unit later on.
Absolutely. Yeah, there.
Okay, so this is one of the cards we've got, and specifically then we've got
changes to units.
Right, so if you have one of these units, then if you already have Stormcallers,
it would affect those stats immediately.
Right.
And then the Stormcaller on the right, it allows you to buy them in at a higher rank than you'd know. You usually buy things at level 1,
right?
Unless you're playing as the elite specialist, then you buy at level 2.
Okay.
And so that was a way of buying things straight in at level 3.
Gotcha.
They're paying the associated cost of course, so it'd be 400 instead of 200.
Right. And that's why you really need to think at the beginning when you've got those 4 different
those things. And when you see that, you map out different
profiles.
Exactly. There you're like, wow, if this shifted that way, would this be useful against my opponent's composition? And that's what and I mean the whole turn can just evaporate. You're saying that, and suddenly you've got 30 seconds left, and then you make some appalling decisions. And then it's pretty much GG, but it's not. You've got to suffer through your mistake now.
You've still got 7 to 9 rounds to go.
It's the grim reality of Mecha. And an interesting play here. We're seeing the Amplify specialist. Is that Goose? Yeah, Goose on the right. No, Duck on the right. Sorry. Then he's held off on round 1, and he's dropped some on a crawler. So he's got some fiendish ambitions for that pack of crawlers.
The last 10 seconds, we'll check out Simon's.
War crimes. I see. This is the pre-trial stage.
And so what are you seeing here?
Why are you making those?
So basically, first and foremost, he's done what? What has Simon done here?
He's built the Phantom Rays.
Okay.
The Phantom Rays. It's just Goose just loves it on there. I mean, maybe not. Maybe this isn't what he's going for this time. But first you build the Phantom Rays, then you click oil. Then you begin your Hound's Fire.
Right.
And
okay, so essentially you're setting up a stage system of being like, first I need the units, then I give them the chance to like spray oil over the next round, and then after that,
now someone's setting it on fire.
Someone shows up,
and you claim ignorance later on. You're like, well, I didn't know. I was just the oil guy. They said they needed oil. It was an unusual mode of delivery. I don't know. And then this other guy was just like, he just said, light it up.
I didn't like
it. So I lit it.
One guy ran in with a cigar. Okay.
Interesting that. So we've got just a little feather of damage coming in to the QUAK Bros there, but there's problems to overcome. And here we have a unit drop. There looked to be a high-level Phoenix. It was mainly air units, I think.
Yeah, whatever.
So over there, a Raiden's been taken by GOOSe. On that, and by Duck. Some synchronized Raidening. I mean, it feels good. It feels good. I don't know, like a lot of there, but it feels pretty good. There. So again, we've got some synchronized plays here.
Nice.
At some point. Well, I mean, it's only round 3. It's a big unit drop for round 3. Whacking some giants straight on the field.
And for the cards, basically, all the players get to look at the same 4 cards. Is that correct?
Yes. Everyone will have the same options.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a good chance that these 2 these flying units that have just been built.
The Rays, Phantom Rays.
Not the.
Oh, sorry, the Raidens.
Raidens. Apologies. Not
amazingly, you've got Wraith, Raiden, and Phantom Ray. that opening syllable, they just love that, eh? Like it's a fly, Ray.
For those of us trying to get into this game, it makes it incredibly difficult.
So now you've got Raids, Raidens, and Raids.
Yeah, simple as that.
It's easy.
All completely different. But it's very plausible that the both opponents could both have gone into.
That's it. I mean, GOOSe is brave here, committing to air, as he's facing a line of marksmen on the other side, and marksmen, those dudes on the line, those 6 guys, they are some of the best anti-air units in the game. But heart is what can win Mechabellum. That's you don't like. There's sometimes you don't want to go with what counters what should be. You just have to put faith in planes.
If it's going to work,
it could do. They look like they're through.
And that's the thing about this.
But look at these terrible wedges of damage the marksmen are inflicting. Just oi oi oi, huge hits, and that is the whole
enchilada.
I was going to say Luftwaffe down.
The whole flying enchilada down. They're going for. Okay.
But those marksmen, they are going to be devils. They are standing in a pool of oil. No, they're just ahead of the pool of oil. But should someone accidentally light that pool of oil,
oopsie,
terrible things could happen. And I didn't see on Duck's side quite how the push went. Was the void eyes seem to be steadily leveling though, and it's quite scary. We've got a missile strike, a Vulcan descender, shield drop here, all very useful things. And he's going to snipe the backpack of Mustangs that he's thinking about.
Powerful.
Yeah, a useful thing. Now that does that particular type of missile, I think, does 3,000 damage. And so we'll take out a pack of level 2 Stangs. Interestingly, the different missiles available doing different amounts. The missile that you buy from the stock for 50 is 5,000 damage missile. And but yeah, this one that you get from a card, or if you're the missile supply specialist, who gets 2 from round 2.
Right.
They have a cooldown. You can't just use them in consecutive turns. That does 3,000 damage, which I think was a slot. I think it may have just done 2,500 damage at one time, and they gave it a little buff. There is a card, one of the cards we haven't seen it yet, which is the missile improvement card.
Okay.
If you purchase that, then the missile from the shop does 3 times its base damage, a 200% increase.
So while continuing to cost 50.
While continuing to cost 50,
Tremendous.
and so now does 15,000 damage, which will take out quite a few medium level units in one. It can turn the tide on a flank. We haven't seen a flank yet. Perhaps.
Yeah, no one's done any backstops.
Okay, here we go. So the Rays have taken a sneaky technology here. They've taken stealth. So they won't reveal themselves until they get into attack range and start shooting, so they can sneak up and get to where they need to be. And the marksmen have walked naively into the oil.
That's war crimes, ladies and gentlemen.
It's sad to see that this is what has to happen. But marksmen, they got to die somehow. They're just too good.
Okay, it looks like.
And some hacks went down here. So a hacker on the thing. He's a charming unit here. They take control of the enemy's units.
Was one, I'm guessing, one of the enemies? Had a
Yeah.
hacker.
No, I believe
Was
it
it
was
Duck?
no, it was Duck. Duck brought the hacker in.
Really?
A super effective
hacker
play
play?
here.
A hacker play during a stream. Powerful. What's next? Sandworms? I'm very excited to see what happens. Okay.
Yeah, brilliant things. The hackers.
I was too busy taking the mick out of you guys. Well, did you win that round?
They took it down.
Hell yeah. Well done.
There may
We
be,
all like enchiladas.
there may be trials later, but the game was taken. And the hacker, again, it does a kind of what yours is mine thing, where
Right.
it just continues every time it shoots, it takes control forever of a unit on the other side, the closest one to it, just like anything else.
And that's
But-
the unit that looks kind of like a melting point, but it's pink, and so it has again same sort of
Yeah, I
like
think you may have a
ranged
pink
unit.
skin on it. It kind of looks like a tripod with a load of wires coming. Here he is. We're getting a close up now.
Ooh.
There he is. Delightful thing.
Oh,
When your opponent has one of these, you just want to throw something through your screen and it come out on their side.
because all of a sudden, because I guess, and because all the units will shoot
it
whoever's
makes you
closest
just-
to them. If a hacker hacks someone within their line, everyone in that line stops shooting the enemy or
Exactly,
and
and
starts shooting.
turns. And giants, bigger units are much slower to turn, so it can really mess up the flow of their attack.
Meanwhile, it's also actually messing up your plan. Like if
Yeah,
you had
the whole
specifically put
thing.
in, I'm going
And
to have
if
this
you
unit
had,
come in at
if
certain
your
time.
play was melee, if you were playing rhinos or worms, it's again catastrophic, because that thing will come through the chaff line, get right up to the front, and get hacked, and then
Right.
turn back and come back. It
Nightmare.
can, really turn the tide on some big melee plays. And as I say, it's just a horrible psychological thing. There, you just on the other side of it, it changes where you want to place things. You're like, oh God, I don't want that going over to them.
So we just got GOOSe here dealing with the
GOOSe
line
here
of marksman.
ripping out some oil and some fire. He just does it so well. Look at it, all oily and fiery.
Oh, and a bit of a backstop there, I think, as well.
Those marksmen though, they're not dipping their toes this time. Ah, hello. A little sneaky one's come around the side, and this is our first flank. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all those in between. This is a flank, and it was just unnecessary, it seems, as the other team got through. But it's there, and I salute it.
Huge win for QUAK Gaming. Huge win for the QUAK Bros.
Big take, and it seems like they're
After
turning
5
the
rounds,
tide here.
quite frankly,
We've got a load of levels on the board there. Hounds leveling, but the other. But as the opponents haven't really gone into chaff, the hounds they have kind of become chaff themselves, as they will just march forward to their deaths and support the larger units behind them.
we've got a big Vulcan play here by Duck. And what is a Vulcan?
A Vulcan is a fire dealing unit.
Dealing fire.
It really likes to spread it around. They're excellent for anything that isn't big.
Right.
And then even when it is big, it's got text that helps.
So although big itself, it's not going to destroy another giant, but it's going to wipe out everything.
Yeah, that's it. It would in a one-on-one, it will lose to a fortress. It will lose to a melter.
Okay.
On there, just untext as they stand, but it will wipe out an infinite amount of chaff until support arrives for that chaff. And he's this is just an amazing sort of dick off here. One guy says, "I will only build marksmen, which will counter any air. So you better stop building air." And GOOSe says,
hold my beer.
I ain't stopping building air, bro. You haven't built much chaff, so yeah, this might get through." This is what Mecha's all about.
I love it.
You can think about it and really try to do the right thing. Or you can just say like, nah, choosing other units is tough. So yeah, the marksmen have just teched again. What have we got at the back here?
That looks like a sandworm to me.
There's a worm. There's some kind of
Sandworm
horrible
to deal
worm.
with the backstop.
But I mean, worms won't do anything to that is in the air. And what's happening here? The missiles are in. The marksmen are getting covered. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. Kids, if anyone ever tells you when they build loads of marksmen not to continue pushing into air, they were lying to you. So just do it. It's just such a fascinating game.
Oh,
Here we go.
have
Beautiful
QUAK
hack
hacking.
play here.
Who's-
Takes that over.
Who's
Yes,
sandworm?
please.
That's our sandworm. And Tony's coming to assist. what's
And
left.
we've got there. Oh, there is a little squad of marksmen remaining there. There's a top pocket that we hadn't seen. That worm is
sandworm off.
gone. Now sandworms are the best marksman counter, as they. Oh wow, so's that.
So
Yeah.
ultimately, air did win throughout.
Air wins. If you're fire or water, you just lose. Earth, right? Send me your tears.
So on the left-hand side here, we're looking at Simon's side. He's got a number of different items that you can do, or
Well, yeah. So those are his spells.
right.
Anything that is reusable and then has a cooldown.
Okay.
So will be on that left bar is just termed a spell in this.
Okay.
And absolutely. So here he's got the oils off cooldown, the missile strikes off cooldown, and and I think he just took a little electro.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called. The electro zapper, the small electro zapper. And what that will do is it's going to turn off the tech of everything that it hits for 30 seconds, I think, and slow them by 40%.
Wow.
So very useful here in those.
So almost like the debuff at the end when a tower goes, but just on a specific unit.
That's it. In addition to removing their techs, so super useful, but doesn't do the damage negation.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's only killing tech. It's not killing the unit.
It's blowing them, stopping their stuff working, but they'll still function damage-wise.
Gotcha. And then we've got.
And here we go. It's
QUAK
spreading out
Duck.
nicely. Another hacker added. Have we got the level 3? The elite hacker card was taken by Duck. We missed it earlier, and that's how he's just banging out these monstrous hackers. He's added enhanced control here, and that's a fantastic tech.
Okay.
So usually the the small negative of a unit that you take over on a hack is that its HP will usually be a little down.
Right. Because it got hacked.
Because it's been hacked, and during that time it was taking damage from something else. Say that worm had come up to the front, everything's hitting it in the face.
Yeah.
The hacker gets control of it, but it's taking a fair whack. With enhanced control, the entire HP bar comes back, as we just saw with that blue worm there.
So essentially, you
get a
fresh unit. So even if it's been kicked by the rest of your units, not
that's it.
as
At
you
the
take it
moment that
over.
you take it over,
Incredible.
it's all yours again. Oh, that worm is ducking and diving though, and it's got through. The hacker will not be able to have that one, and it's on the tower. They've got through. The worms are back. The Duck Bros haunted by worm this evening.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. QUAK Gaming has ringworm. It's happening again and again. We're in a circle of worms. We don't know what to do about it. Chances are it might be line of melters. I'm just gonna assume. Although I really like the hacker play. And why wasn't that hacker able to get a hold of that worm then?
Funny thing with the hacker.
Yeah.
If it loses its lock, it will lose all of the work it's done.
Oh, really?
Point.
Okay, cool.
So
unlike a melting point, which is shooting something, shooting a sandworm, it goes underground, stops shooting it, it's done damage.
It's
when
done
it
that
comes
much
back up.
damage. However, it still does have the effect with a melter when it pops up. So, because a melter, for every, I think, 0.2 seconds that it's locked on a target, it squares its damage or doubles its damage.
Oh, okay, cool. So the longer it's on, the more.
That's it.
infinitely
Yeah,
more
and that's
damage.
it. So after about 10 seconds of melting, it's almost anything is gone. But the worm, if it breaks that line of melt, if we call it that,
What else would it be called?
you're quite right. It will then, when it pops up again, it's back down to doing 1, 2, 4, 8 instead of, and when it broke it, it's probably up to 2,000, 4,000.
This the guy that QUAK GOOSe is playing has balls deep is the technical term for how many.
Now
marksmen
Goose he's gone to 5 forks there, so the Raidens now will be hitting out with 5 forks worth of damage. I love that. I mean, if we can survive the round and he could get the light I forget what it's called, chain on as well. It's just so so fork means that it now does 5 lines of damage instead
Okay.
of 3.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
And
that's
chain
that lightning coming out.
That's it,
force
man.
lightning.
Here we go. Boom! Oh my! Whoa! What terrifying!
Okay.
Absolutely terrifying.
Those bubbles are a problem, though.
Bubbles are a problem, but this is on those marksmen, and of course because the rays are on sneaky mode, they are not tanking the hits for the Raidens, so the marksmen are locking straight onto there and losing nothing. And it looks like marksmen do beat air. Kids, it's okay. The priests weren't lying.
It looks like Duck has managed to.
Duck is doing a
has
great
hack
job
himself
here.
A level 3 sandworm.
Oh, that is a beautiful thing to see. That is going to do an awful lot here. Now, the guy, but there is a level 2 worm. And those terrifying things. Well, it's always it feels good to lose to just marksman spam. That's what they say. That's what they say in Bellum. It feels good to lose to marksman spam because only pros do it. So you lost to a pro.
Yeah. Exactly.
If you're beaten by the best,
it can't
what are
be
you gonna
anyone
do?
else.
You can't be the best at everything, and you were beaten by the best. He
Right.
knew. He knew to build 12 marksmen.
And he built 18. Right, we're going to take a short break and we're going to have a word with QUAK Gaming and see if we can get them into a positive frame of view to win the next game.
Minor points.
Oh, yeah. And we're back. Duck has gone for an aerial specialist, whereas Goose went for something else. Cost control. So he's playing the economy game. Now, any questions? One of the things in Mechabellum is for new viewers tends to be what on earth is going on. So any questions about what's happening, why it's happening, throw it in the chat. We've got it coming up. Loving the comments from Tornado. Yes, indeed. I like enchiladas too, as you well know. In fact, next time we see each other, we should have enchiladas. But yeah, worm play. All we're seeing is worm play, boys. It's absolutely terrible. I'm just going to steal this beer from Simon. Do you have a beer opener? Thank you. Damn bottle openers. Right, we are with QUAK GOOSe here as he sets up crawlers just behind some other units. In a kind of, what I would say, Rorschach's nightmare kind of. Oh, no, he's changed it. So on the right-hand side here, we've got basically formations of top players. So you can see if they use formation on a regular basis, you can actually do that and move it around. What the team tend to do is use that as a basis and then completely move it around to their whim, depending on what units they have. 10 seconds to go in. Mad dash. 100 still to spend from Goose. Panic stations. And here we go. Okay, so we've got Goose on the right and Duck on the left.
Again, shoulder to shoulder, marching up the field. And these opening selections, we got the opponents have got some marksmen and sabers and marksmen and something else. People like marksmen.
Yeah,
it's just a fact.
And sandworms.
It's a fact. And it would seem worms tonight. Worms. But we've got a few sledgies on this saber, but it's not going to. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Boom! Big moment there.
So Duck came in and crushed the tower of Simon's opponent.
Smacked it down. That is
Small
a
debuff,
massive
just saving him for a
thingy
second.
there. And if that saber's fresh, this will just take the round. Is the saber fresh? Let's find out. It's not fresh. The marksman just holds on. There, but it's still a pretty even round, and here we go, round 2. This is where you've seen each other's now. You've seen each other's business, and you can start to form a plan.
A business plan.
A business plan, exactly. Then some blue items here, useful stuff.
And what's a blue item?
A blue item is it's a useful class of item, I would say. Like,
Okay.
They'll generally cost you 50 to take, I think.
So items, as opposed to beforehand, we were talking about cards.
Some of those
specific.
Some of those were
units.
items, some were spells. But
Oh,
they're
no
all
problem.
blue.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe blue means it costs 50. Anyway,
maybe
could we? Yeah.
maybe
If
it's just the
anyone,
colour
if
of the
anyone
round.
out there could just let us know that in the comments, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Just message minor points at minorpoints.ai.
Yeah. That's so here we are, round 2. Their units being chosen. We've got a level on the saber. It looks like the laser sight was taken by Duck. Duck on the right here, Goose on the left.
Goose on the right.
Goose on the right. Good.
Just so you can see it left there. And again, strong coverage on the middle, just to make sure that doesn't roll. As
That's
we were
it,
saying earlier, when you're
towers
neck and
tight.
neck and sort of shoulder to shoulder like that, you got to make sure you're covering. Now you can see
yeah.
here that we've got Duck adding like some crawlers right at the back left hand side. Why is he doing that?
He's doing that to fend off any future flank and to add late chaff to the battle. So that would
Right.
that's just a little off-putting to the opponent pulling in a non-air unit, as that will get gobbled up by the crawlers before it can do anything in that round. And then in the next round you can respond to it before it can do anything.
But as you can see here, just showing up late.
Yeah, showing up late, just doing a little something. And if that saber had been alive, this would be useful for it. But unfortunately, it's not. Maybe just a little more chaff clear needed.
See how it's happened on
from
Simon's side.
Duck,
Looks like Duck has
the sabers be. It should be a fairly even battle there. I guess it was. And the tower are very nice here. Goose coming in on the tower. The debuff in.
slows the roll of Duck's
This is
opponent.
going to be this is going to be one for the QUAK Bros. A big marksman here, a level 3 guy. He'll be one-shotting everything, a little bit more HP, but no problem there. The crawlers will be quickly dealt with by the stangs and hounds, and then we've got a bit of armor in the form of the sledges to finish it off.
Powerful.
As the tarantula here, you see, it will make short work of the hounds and the mustangs, but perhaps they were level 2 mustangs.
Nice.
Yeah, really useful, the levels on the stangs. Can be sort of sneaky and the biggest damage dealers on the squad, just quietly pumping away. A melter here picked up. So it's an answer to these sabers.
When in doubt, melt it out.
Yes.
Let's have a little look.
That's what some say.
What we've got. That's what some say. I know someone who says it.
He's going for.
Yeah, that's the guy.
It's a brave melter as well. I like it. The fronty melter. It's often people are sort of midi to backy melter, but here the fronty melter. It's nice to see. Melters can get a little bored at the back. They wonder, are we ugly? Why we're not shown?
We're so powerful.
It's it.
What's wrong with us?
Let me at him. And as again, the opponent seems to just be refusing to build any chaff. It's a great play.
Which is nice. So just dropping out some rockets there from Duck.
Couple of missies in there to deal with some chaff. And we'll see how this plays out. The opponent's just finishing off. So yeah, we've got a pretty nice composition here from Duck. We've got a layer of chaff clear, a little chaff coming through. The stangs would deal with any air stuff.
That's
but the opponent,
big old unit the opponent's got, isn't it?
Yeah, he's gone with the Vulcan here, and that will make very short work of everything apart from the sabers.
Right.
as everything else lightly armored. But
It's
it
like
looks
Mustang, for
like
instance.
it's good. Oh no, it is starting to take out the Stangs and the I mean everything that isn't a Sabre, as I say. But that oh wow,
Thankfully, the Void
so
Eyes
we've
had its
got
number.
some big Void Eyes there. Was that a drop? I must have missed it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it came in on a drop. I'm hearing.
My man on the ground.
And as you can see, a very effective unit. I mean, it just footed that Vulcan in what was it, a one-shotter? Did the three-way thing, and maybe it taken a peppering already.
Yeah, 2 or 3 shots from the Voids, and there was another little unit in there as well.
Beautiful. So here so see, now here's a red item.
Right.
So red, yeah, I think we are going to go with that. Blue is 50, red is 200, yellow, gold.
Yeah.
Gold, 100. But blue's really useful often.
Right.
Yeah, there. And then I guess the grey ones are the free cards.
Okay.
You know, I've only played 1,000 games
Before
this,
thinking
I've
about
never
it.
actually.
But until you think about saying what, but why? Otherwise, you just click, 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 click.
Yeah, that seems like a good value for that. Yeah, okay. So the red, again, one of the highest tier items, that gives 180% HP to a thing, so it can really tank up a tank. But not useful, it would appear, not chosen here. The melters get a level, so that, whenever something we touched briefly on levels earlier, but just to go a little into it again, they whenever you when you level, you double the base stats, or you add the base stats again.
Okay.
So if something did 10 damage and had 100 health, at level 2 it'll do 20 damage and have 200 health. At level 3, 30 damage, 300 health.
Tremendous. Right. Okay. And that's really where, like, you can see people who just sit onto like one idea, level them up until at some point they're unstoppable.
That's right. Yeah, some people, a key unit that's doing all the work, and then the rest of the army is effectively just a support squad.
The problem is, as we were saying earlier, though, is then the cost of leveling is half of what the original unit costs.
That's it. So it's going to take up some credits, and that can get in the way of your deployments. And it's usually not a good idea to miss out on your natural deployments, which are 2 per round. It can be a mistake teching too early and not getting your deployments out, and then just getting swamped. And even though the guys that you have on are very good, doing their things well, they just can't contest with the numeracy of the opponent.
Yeah, exactly. Just because, sure. But that's why you got to keep that board kind of buried.
A level 3. Is that a level 3 Vulcan there? That's big. But the level 3 Sabre absolutely loves things like this. It's locked on, and it's pounding away. But my word, those marksmen are gonna stop it just before. And again, marksmen. Perhaps they need a nerf or should be removed from the game. I don't know. I mean, I love them. You know, I love them. They're a great unit.
But it's got to be said.
You know.
Like Joe Rogan talks about the gloves. This is your hill to die on.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's just something probably needs. If it's the right thing to buy at the beginning and the middle and the end, maybe it's not the right thing. Maybe it's too right. Maybe it's too right.
Yeah, sure. Whereas, for instance, like Stormcallers that we were talking about earlier, were like really powerful early game.
They can do stuff, but they can be countered, they can be worked around.
Yeah.
And there are these accepted, canon defenses to the marksman. They just build more chaff and worms. Like there is what you'll see in the forums, and it just doesn't work. Yeah, it just doesn't work. Once those marksmen start to run away with it, once they get a couple of levels on them, they're just incredibly effective units.
Yeah.
And they of course can be
got
dealt
so
with,
much range,
but they require so much
damage.
thought and good play to deal with. Whereas the other guy can just be like, buy marksman.
More.
Yeah. There, and it's just why do I have to think?
Yeah, that's just not the.
Why doesn't he have? Why I got to do all the thinking? I just want to win. That's why I'm playing the game. I just want to win.
But it's
easy
also one of the things
win, and it annoys me when people do good things.
High rank,
prevent that.
Easy win.
Just want high ranked easy wins. Just an ever ascending ladder to the top.
Is that too much to ask for?
I could take 1 loss in every 10. That's fine.
Maybe.
Take a day, one a day.
Like one a day.
Something like that.
That's better.
Be all right.
Just you though.
But it just doesn't work like that. And and I blame marksmen.
Who doesn't?
You got to blame someone. Some people blame that, but no, you just got to blame marksmen.
Well, also, what's one of the good things about the game is that the devs do then, bring stuff down, pull stuff up, like as things go on. You're not going to leave it with just like one strategy that will win, if you know what I mean.
That's it. And I mean, I'm just a caterpillar sitting on a mushroom, as you know. So I just haven't got all the answers yet.
Yeah, we're waiting to eat that mushroom.
It'll come. It'll come. I sit here thinking.
So that Vulcan continuing.
So yeah, that Vulcan really wreaking its
to be a
dreadful wrath here. And
it looks like Simon's
very effectively sweeping things up, and it's just got a huge HP pool now at level 3. Although that said, those Void Eyes, God, they hit. And this time the saber gets through, and there's a bird in the air. It pops off one of those marksmen, those pesky guys. And we've got some success from GOOSe on the right there. Those are beautiful wall of Scorpos walking through.
Even though his opponent also went into Vulcans, it looks like he was ready for that.
That's it. So the Scorpion's just delivering the hit. They are what they target one. Well, they actually have a reasonable splash on them. They have just very good hitters. They are your top draw hitters. Yeah, if you had just one guy, and you knew where he was, and he couldn't get out of like Trafalgar Square.
Yeah.
Scorpion, bang, that's a guy.
He's coming out before.
I'll get rid of that. I'll cover it in acid as well if you like. I can do it from a long way away if you need.
Right, so we've got some more items and spells then.
There we go. Yeah, we got the shield, a beautiful thing. It means that something can't be destroyed in one shot.
Sweet.
And it in effect doubles the HP of the unit it's connected to.
Okay.
We're going to assume that the other guy's going to whack that on that Vulcan, which is going to be terrifying.
After so much success.
Yeah, that's it.
Crazy not to.
Crazy not to. So that's going to need an answer. Probably only a melter can deal with that now.
Not an abyss.
An abyss really good for taking out a whole load of medium to even like higher enemies. But once something's got its levels on it, once it's got that much HP, the abyss will be sweeping back and forth on it for long enough that the marksman will just take it off the board.
Or something with anti-air is just going to rock up and be like,
it'll in effect get stuck on it.
Yeah, well, it's just sat there, kind of
the community
aimlessly swinging left to right.
Like my uncle's balls.
So let's have a 16 seconds left.
Over onto the GOOSe team. Oh, look at this. That is just a wall of powerful horror. There, four scorpions with range. Oof. They'll level 2, I might add. They will one-shot almost everything on the opponent's squad, apart from that level 2 Vulcan. But that's just be a couple of shots.
So what the melters for?
I mean, the melters are for even bigger things should they come, perhaps. But they will also, if they get on those Vulcans, they're just going to mash it. The Mustangs are in effect chaff now. Very interesting. Coming through, just taking the shots.
And is that siege that he's got on the Scorpions?
No, just range.
Right.
Yeah, if he had siege on, they kind of lob the shot in a higher arc there and get a huge range. But here, it's not required as they're close enough to the front. With siege on as well, it has a damage reduction. I think it knocks 40% off. And those Scorpions have just done their work. Look at them, top lads. The melters were actually chaff for the Scorpions. It's all Scorpion over there. The melters are just a distraction. Here we go, but they need... And that they find the tower. Can they? Oh, they find the tower too. Were there any levels on the tower? I'm not sure. But oh wow, those high-level marksmen. I mean, someone should do something about those guys,
issues,
right?
Issues.
It's like they win every game. until you're some god pro, and then you never see them built again. It gets up, and once you see people like rile up there, people above 2,000 MMR, the holy bubble.
Yeah.
That means that you just get entry into any house.
Sure.
That knows Mechabellum.
Yeah, where I got to before I started commentating.
Your feet will be washed by other Bellum players at Bellum conferences. The normal thing, a Bellum con, yeah. Sorry, I completely lost my train of thought. I was thinking about Bellum players' feet. That's a dangerous line to get into. Help me out, Doc.
We're talking about feet. That's what I remember. Feet.
So yeah.
No, we're talking about
a melter going in here, and very wise. I think, and we do see the shield attached to the Vulcan over there. That must have happened last round, but something horrible got in my mind. And there's a storm up here, so this is just going to delete the majority of the chaff here and really let the melter work.
And will it hurt the bubble shield?
Each time the lightning hits it, I think it will whack it for 5,000, maybe 3,000. Oh, sorry, if we get another little flash on the storm there. 2,000 each hits 2,000.
Nice.
It's got to rattle off a dozen or so hits and the thing, so it'll chip away. But what it's really good at is anything in the air, which unfortunately I don't think there is, as those cannot be shielded.
Okay, looks like both opponents have hit.
We got lightning over,
storms.
some storms over there. It's going to pay more of a toll on the duck side because of those, because of the phoenixes, the birds in the air. Thankfully, they had quite a spread on them. There, the melter has got distracted by some nonsense on the left. There, and unfortunately, it won't lock the Vulcan. Perhaps if another one was added to the right as the field's clearer there, it would get a lock. There, and here we go over on Scorpion Street, and they're doing their thing, and there's a melter alive as well. This is nice stuff. And pop, there goes that side, but
a lot to deal with coming over.
But yeah, and I mean, maybe siege mode on those Scorpions to hit the marksman from like when they're out of range. But I mean, it's tough stuff. It's tough stuff. There's quite a few leftovers there. Maybe something will change on the left though this round.
About even Stevens on the scorecard.
Yeah, it's coming in, but momentum seems to be on the other side of the field.
Just wait.
Here we go. Well, the duck's going to pull out the bag here.
This is when Wonderbread does its best work.
I'm seeing acid. That's even more death and doom for this side. So this side is probably comfortably the opponent's going to have to make some real good changes to change the outcome. And we're seeing oil picked up here.
Classic goose play.
Classic goose play here. The war crimes are coming in. It's an interesting one though, and in this one it won't get on quite as much stuff. I wonder if it could be useful for his opponent, but maybe there's no way of selling the field on fire on the other side.
Let's have a look and see what's happening on Ducktown.
Over Ducktown, we got another fortress in. He's got a bit of range on him. He's going back. Then we've got a melter in. And we're seeing we're going to see some range on him.
Classic duck
another
play.
Pack of hounds here. Yeah, that was it, because the chaff seems to be getting a bit overwhelming on the left. A couple of late packs of Mustangs added here. This will very much help with the chaff. Range and speed doled out to everyone. So we've got some chaff solutions put in and a melter in on the right. See how this goes. The world's on fire. Sorry, I mean on the left. The world is on fire on the right, and there's acid all over the floor. It's Terminator time. Feels like end of days stuff here.
And now that melt.
But wow, we've got some counter Scorpions coming in. Multi-melt has been picked up. The must have felt did not need the range. And the opponent had also brought in his own acid scorps, but it was too late. It was too late. And we have got 2 melters and 4 Scorpions marching over. The lock has been found on that Vulcan. What a turn. What a turn here. And surely, as broken as marksmen are, they won't be able to come through this. Look at them just shredding that melter in 3 shots. It's a bit of a disgrace.
Thankfully, they hate acid.
Just look at it. Look at what it's doing. Wow.
Nice.
And that's a big turn there.
Exactly, because as you say, it's not about how many points.
It's the momentum game. It is a momentum game.
And when you can flip momentum, all of a sudden people start making
stupid decisions. Disarray hits there. We've got an interesting selection here in the unit drop. We've got a sandworm. Whoa, terrifying. There, an abyss. There 2 packs of pretty high level bulls, 3 typhoons. I mean, typhoon's a fantastic unit, but only level 1 at this stage. They might just be a little light unless there's a chaff issue somewhere. Typhoon's a very good flanking unit. They have a tech on them. They have shield. They have bubble shield. which can just sort of
Okay.
put some extra stuff about the play. If the opponent was using fire, it can sort of break things like that. So it's got some it's got some real utility.
And units around it can sit in that bubble shield as well.
That's it. Absolutely, yeah. Everything around it will be protected by that shield while it stays close. Those melters are getting very big now. Level 6. It's one of the biggest boys I've ever seen.
The standard big boy melter play by Goose, and then over here at Duckhound.
And the Typhoons have been picked up. There was a bit of extra chaff clear support for those melters there, and the bubble picked up too.
And as we'll see here, Duck likes to wait until those last few seconds just to spend over 1,000 points and put people in place.
He's a master at this. He's actually added some there because he's so damn good. And then in come a couple of lovely fortresses. Borrows a bit of cash. Wax fisty boom on there. It's beautiful. And here we go. So we've got some late fortresses added to the composition. A very interesting and unorthodox play. But they have got fisty boom. So if those marksmen, I'm assuming the guy hasn't picked up electro on his marksman, as it wouldn't really make sense into the composition. And so if they start chipping at those marksmen, they will launch flaming fists like that.
Looks like there's a across
the battlefield,
hard roll on the right hand side for Goose.
I mean, they were literally like one shot by those marksmen, those level 2 fortresses, because it's a fair and balanced unit. We'll see the balance continue here. Excellent. There we go. So that's it. So let me remind you there, the marksman, of course, amazing economy. You only pay 100 for that guy and a 0 cost to unlock. The scorpion that's shooting it, that costs 50 to unlock and costs 300.
Wow.
But the marksman will just annihilate it, even though they're roughly equivalent level, and because that's how you make a game.
And as this is just normal play as opposed to tournament play, we're seeing people use those strategies that work.
That's it. Those strategies that work. Those strategies that work. Now, if the boy, it's late in the day, it's a salad day, it's the evening, it's a lot to ask. But if they were really making some dynamic moves, coming in with little forays, using the way beacon, coming with flags, really thinking, high level thinking.
That might not be where Wonder Bread are right now.
You've got to put a lot of time into this stuff. Then maybe you can get past the amazing unit,
the marksman,
like there on there. But otherwise, you
just double down and treble down on fortresses and hope for the best. You drop a fortress in,
and no, it's just wonderful to see players that goes on the seat. Now this is nice. We will now Goose will now be outranging those marksmen. Maybe those hounds. He's going for fronties. I thought for a moment he might be going for some later hounds to have another run of fire, but maybe that's not useful on there. And he still held his side last time, but not in quite the same fashion as the round before.
Mm-hmm.
And over on the
because ended up walking out without melters, for instance, at the end.
And it was it may be an experimental play that Duck's actually showcasing here with these back 40s. As another one's been added, so it's not a mistake. I can assure you, all the viewers of that. So we'll see how it goes. And I mean, that's it. Some guys, you just got to live on the cutting edge, the bleeding edge, in fact. This is one for the fans at home. They will lose MMR, so you don't have to. They're great like that.
You don't get this from every player. You just don't.
So there it is, a showcase of a technique not to be used. And on to the next game. This is very horrible. This bit. See the opponents. Not everyone has pressed speed up. And the guys just said good game, well played, which everyone knows means fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
That's minor points, and we'll be right back. And we are back with Wonder Bread, aka Quack Gaming Boys, aka QUAK Duck and QUAK GOOSe, who are on not the most powerful of runs at the moment, but really what we're doing is we're trying things out.
They've been trying things out. They've
What
been
ideas?
experimenting. They've been flexing a little this way, flexing a little that way. But I'm hearing that they're going to take this one seriously. So,
Grumbles from the pick crew.
that's it. So I think we might see a bit of a display here. I've had whispers of fortress, if possible, a fortress play.
Maybe even some kind of communication between the two of them. So Duck goes for cross control, while GOOSe is looking.
GOOSe having a P. He's got some nice options here.
So these original cards, are these specific to each player?
How do you mean?
So there's not, everyone couldn't end up being marksman.
That's right. I believe your opponent certainly can't, but you can. So it's possible for your partner to have
you and your
exactly
team
card.
see the same full cards at the beginning.
No, you get a random. I think you still get a random throw. Actually, guys, do you know? You get a random throw, but you cannot in that random throw get an opposition card.
Right.
But you can get your partner's card.
And I could get his opponent. I could get the same card as his opponent.
Yes.
But just not the guy. But just not the guy.
But not everyone's seeing exactly the same thing, so it's there's variety across it.
That's it. But I mean, the satisfying symmetricity of both having the same pack would just be really, really nice.
Yeah, just satisfying. So the guys are set up in a different way this time, right?
Yeah, so they seem to be pulling a. Looks
back to
like
back?
no. This is what is this one actually? No, I think this is standard side to side. So there's there's a whole border gap here.
Okay, so last time we were looking at more of a compact map.
Yeah, that's it. They
So
were
you
absolutely
didn't
shoulder
have
to shoulder.
these sides.
Whereas now you can flank both. You can be flanked at both sides. Whereas the previous one there was only one available flank. Here you can also the units that you put into your opponent's flank may also just go over onto the other side of the board as well, so you can try and throw units into the far sides, into the diagonals.
Tremendous. So it looks like Simon's QUAK GOOSe's opponent's got some early Stormcallers.
And here we've got the cinematic camera here, so we're getting a nice sweeping image that will just slowly zoom in and focus on the areas of action,
And ultimately end up looking at those marksmen.
That's it. And there's a couple of marksmen here, but marksmen can't win every turn, surely. So this
And same again, looks like Duck's opponent's gone for some
Ducks hit
Stormcallers.
some storms here, which again the
Hard to
early
counter
rounds
early.
very powerful early
Yeah,
rounds.
they block out the sun with missiles. What more are we meant to do about it? You haven't got the units on the
And with the balls at the back, I think the balls. So it was a push, but the storm call exactly that. So the balls will come, focus their energy weapon on something, which will pause, shoot back, and in that moment the storm callers will just rain on them. An interesting card here, the anti-interference module. I've never taken it, but every time I look at it, I think I should take that on there, and then often regret it later. So that card, the unit that's equipped with it, cannot be hacked. So if the other guy went hacker, you can sell the thing that it's on, in theory, put a big unit in front of the hacker with that on it, and that just totally negates the entire play.
Wow.
Very interesting. It also means that if your tower gets blown, that unit will not get slowed or lose its damage and health for that amount of time. So
That's
a
amazing.
very useful thing. But you always
Never picked
convince
it.
yourself to either take the extra 50 money or spend money on something else. But it has to be a good card. But I've never met anyone who's taken it. So
Comes up.
maybe one day.
So QUAK here is building the board.
That's it, quite building up. He's doing a nice job of putting the chaff in here. Very key thing that's oft overlooked by players is to get your chaff nicely set in the first couple of rounds before you feel sort of forced to go into units to counter the other guy's units. And with this kind of board, it gives a diversity. So he's got a real fluidity of giants that he could play into here, which will all benefit from that crawler spread. So it's a nice general board.
Yeah, and then as you move into later rounds, you can start to specifically counter what he's gone for. Oh, some early air.
And the sabers here have had the anti-missile put on them, which is dealing with the stormcallers, as you see.
Quite well, yeah.
But unfortunately, there is no answer to this air. Now, when an opponent goes air, and especially kind of big air, or even these packs of things, that is a totally forgivable time and the correct time to buy marksman on there. But it's not usually how the unit's used, but I think that was.
Meanwhile, in Goose Town, looks like there's been a bit of a rolling.
That's lovely. It's just come straight through there. A very nice cinematic cam here as we're just watching the things come along. And is there something that can deal with the phantoms walking over?
Anti-air do you have?
There is one level 3 marksman at the back, and that's actually going to clean shop here, as the phantoms are going to spend an awful long time working on these crawlers.
Just needs to get there in time while there's still
someone hasn't clicked speed up, because they just like this to be a little bit slower. There are some guys out there. I mean, this is just their whole thing is just slowly. That marksman does not have range on him. Wow. It's like the one time you have a marksman yourself, it's just a fragile piece of junk.
Well, and if someone's going to go for air in round 2.
Yeah, but the air round 2, it's just a nice play. It's a good play. You got to salute the play.
Yeah, but very counterable.
Absolutely. The phantoms themselves are a little bit less, a little bit more HP, a little bit tankier, and they've both got levels on them. He doesn't have armor. That's an absolute blessing, as it means that any anti-air can deal with it.
And what do you mean by he doesn't have armor?
So on his tech, so see on the unit, there are those 4, in the bottom left corner, there are 4 boxes at the bottom, each one with a different symbol and a number next to it. Those are the technologies that are available for the cost below.
And you pick those prior to the game starting.
Exactly.
I would there's a big long list of the different techs you could potentially have in the game. You decide on 4 that you want to take
units have 4, some have up to 8, and you pick and choose between them, but you cannot change them once the game has started.
Sure.
And so you generally want to battle some of them with some of your units will want to have armor in case the other guy uses lots of chip damage. Enemies, some of them will want to have
and that's where you might be talking about earlier with the War Factory. You might want to have the tech to then have flying things come out of it. Or
yeah, exactly. It's a very versatile unit, the War Factory. Although,
but you choose that versatility essentially prior to the game. Set up those 4
and
techs.
it's actually not a good one to have on for general play.
So by looking at his, is it phantoms he's got?
Yeah.
So looking at the opponent's phantoms and clicking on them, you can then see that he does not have that option available to him.
Exactly. There we saw the 4 that he did have, and he had 10 shot, but he had various assaulting things, but nothing defensive.
Just checking out Goose here with
Goose coming over.
And what's the moving lines in the middle?
No, those are waypoints. So for 100 cost, you can unlock from one of the towers the waypoint beacon. Having done that, you can use it every turn from free from that point on. And whichever units are in the circle that you click on, they are then forced to move the way that the beacon goes.
Right.
Whereas usually anyone will be drawn to the closest unit.
Okay.
Whereas the beacon will allow you to influence the exact movement path, which is very useful for assaulting towers. Okay. Or in this case, I think it was being used to distract the storm.
And that's where it becomes really, really powerful, isn't it? To be able to then do something where it takes a unit that's either powerful or chaff or something, and move it in a direction where essentially you're pulling the enemy's aim and focus across.
So there are some lovely plays you can make with the waypoint beacon. There you can with a pack of crawlers, so with a 100 cost pack of crawlers, you can draw their entire army away from what its intended target was. Waste that, and all that time they're not shooting at the rest of your units, which are shooting at them. So which is a similar
kind of thing you see when you use a backstop. All of a sudden, or a flank.
Yeah,
all of a sudden, X amount of turns and shoots that nearest unit to them, which is potentially maybe what that flank can be used for, just to then pull the overall line of battle to be then a little bit more staggered in a worse way for them.
That's it. And the first round that it goes in, when it's a surprise to them, it can have real good influence on that particular round. The next round, you'll assume that they'll expect it and encounter it.
But I've seen some games where people just go mad on the
absolutely.
On the
and if it works really well, someone might double down. Yeah. And some people pull a unit in there, which is almost always sold the next round, like a Rhino on the line or a Phoenix on the line, and then play the double bluff of not selling it, and the other guy doesn't respond to it because he's sure they're going to sell it. You see some amazing stuff at the higher level games. At this, and then sometimes people just miss it, just forget. Horrible when that happens. Very embarrassing.
again using that waypoint.
That's
to take
it.
The,
So,
is that,
what
is that
this
a pack
is,
of crawlers?
yeah, the pack of crawlers is just going to sweep across and back, which will pull all of the rockets from the storm crawlers. So for maybe the first 2 or 3 barrages from the storm crawlers, they will not focus in on the on the nice units that we want to keep alive.
Over in Ducktown.
Ducktown, we got the fortresses out, both of them with an item. Giant units love having an item. Massively adds to their stats as it's kind of uncapped. So if that giant unit happens to have 1 million HP and you put heavy armor on it, it now has 1,800,000 HP.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, rhinos is going to be.
So the rhinos going to come in. Have the rhinos got boom on them? I wonder. Are they going to be exploited? They have. It's a new age play. All the kids are loving it.
Kamikaze, basically.
Kamikaze rhinos. So they do the amount of damage that is their HP bar, not what it's been reduced to before they do it, but their total HP pool pre-taking any damage. They will do that amount of damage to all units within about 5 squares.
Right.
So it can be a real powerful play for popping towers as well, as your rhino just has to get close before it dies, and you'll get the debuff.
Nice. Looks like we've got a good solid roll on the from
solid stuff there. The fortresses coming through, the Scorpio's working nicely on the other side, and the bros are performing here. Those phantom rays have been dealt with.
Thankfully, no one's leaned heavily into sandworms
or marksman. No, that's it. And so we've got a good game here.
Finally, we've got a fight in our hand, boys.
Got a real one, and it's nicely balanced at the moment. Very interesting to see which way everyone will go. So we've got a load of fire badges. See those guys along the middle row there that kind of look a bit like mice from afar, from way up here where we're watching the commentary hot air balloon. There they a fairly rodentile front appearance.
And what do they do?
They will be dealing magnificently with chaff.
Right.
They do fire damage, but much less than the Vulcan does. So the Vulcan, its base fire, that fire that you walk into is doing 80 damage every 10 times a second, every 0.1 seconds. Whereas the fire badges, I think, are doing something like 38.
Okay, but you've got volume of them.
But against chaff, that will still melt them. They'll just fall apart. But against the bigger things, they're not so useful. So that's a very good chaff interrupter.
And susceptible to damage?
They've got a reasonable HP bar. They're similar to a sledgehammer.
Okay.
They've got so they can take a few hits.
Good strong mid-sized unit.
Yeah, good strong mid-sized chaff clearing unit, and not something that's available ever from the start from the starting packs.
Oh really?
And that's it. It's a special unit that can only come in from drops unless you start with the one specialist that has them as their item, and then you can buy them from the word go. And here we go. An interesting play here. We've got a round 5 abyss. And this is what an abyss does. See, we've got a load of not very big levels, and this is where it really pays dividends. It's just going to sweep all of those. Look at those dreadful lines. It's scouring into the battlefield to the left, to the right. Fortunately, the Mustang spared a moment, but it comes back for them. And that is the majority of the AA gone. We've still got one heavy level 3 marksman diligently chipping away at this a bit. And look at it. This one man, he's taken it down.
Fantastic.
Because it's a fair and balanced unit that can just take down a Titan. So that Titan unit is 1,000 cost
and
to that guy just got laughed at by that 100 cost marksman. Oh, sexy, man. We missed that move. The Rhino hack is wondrous. Absolute wonder move, man. Yep. What are you doing? You're sending your chargy boom boys into me. I'll have them send them back. Cheers, Tom. And there it is. A win. When they put their heads to it, they crush. One more.
Now the winning's on. Wonder Bread are looking to get toasted.
That's
happening.
Sweet endorphin release of victory. The whole room feels good. The whole room feels good. Experimental games are required, of course, but it's nice just to put your pedal on the metal and take one down.
It didn't look like it for a minute. It looked like that abyss was going to be a problem.
It did. It scared the hell out of me. But
Oh yeah, that's different. Nice.
But what the abyss forgot was the duck had one marksman on the field, and he just couldn't account for that.
Who had progressively leveled up
That was it.
over time.
As we saw, it just swept through pack after pack of Mustangs, level 2 saber, everything gone. But that level 3 Mustang, level 3 marksman, excuse me, at 200 cost, 200 total cost. Nailed it.
Took that abyss out, no problem.
And that's why you always buy marksman, kids.
Right, we've got some.
Maybe marksman just shouldn't be able to level. Maybe that's it. You'd only be a level 1 marksman.
And that's it forever.
And that's it forever.
People would still buy 15 of them.
They would, and I would salute
win.
them, and I would take my losses. Well, there we go. I got the nerf I wanted. It must be me. Yeah, I'd accept it then. But right now, I've got these suspicions. You see these like key things that give suspicion. We'll see if any more things draw suspicions. And the pack selection. Oh, a fire badger there, just as we were talking about. So that's a really nice card there. So you've got the chaff coming out of the 3 packs of crawlers.
Nice.
You've got the DPS coming out of the storm crawlers, and then you've got access to the fire badger.
Nice.
As an amazing chaff. And we're going to see it played. This is an interesting pack to play. Probably we've been seeing aggressive plays. This is probably a standard or defensive pack, as it's just going to be able to absorb almost anything the enemy throws at it, as the chaff will walk into the fire ultimately. Perhaps if is it duck on? If duck plays it this way, ultimately whatever chaff will just walk into the flames of the fire badgers, whilst the storm crawlers just pour in the damage.
Exactly.
And then we've got 3 nice waves of crawlers to just slow everything down from the get-go. It's a nice look, but it looks like he's going to take it another way. Now, this is something you can do. You can play aggressive storm crawlers, see how they go, and then sell them, go something completely off if it doesn't work out. But if they land and the opponent does nothing about it, they can be a useful aggro unit.
Sure.
This is an excellent showcase here.
Well, especially because it then means that you're killing those bigger units, which are probably behind chaff.
That's it.
Chaff comes in, you've got the rest of your units then to clear that before they get to the storms anyway.
Yeah.
Especially for the first few rounds where you've got that maxed out distance.
And another awesome thing with being the fire badger specialist is on, I believe, the 3rd round you get one of them deployed for free.
Oh wow.
So if you're just selling up, as we see here on one side of your board, you can suddenly on round 3 develop the left really easily with an excellent chaff clear. Then you just lob something juicy with him and they can sweep through. And here they've gone for opposite sides. A very interesting play here.
So unfortunately, it looks like the side are being pulled over to Simon's fight, so they're not going to get the tower. And the storms are doing a tremendous job.
And somehow the tower has been found.
Little crawlers.
The crawlers got through there with the guy far out on the left, but he's left himself wide open in the middle, and I just don't think that this is going to pay out long term. But we will see.
Well, here we go. Simon's rolled his opponent. It's coming in hard. Still barrages of missiles coming in from the storms.
Coming over nicely, peppering away with the slow down as well. We'll get another slow. This storm's going to fall to the beam of the thing, but maybe it'll get one more barrage out. No. There, but then slow down here. The Mustang's coming in, a few sledges just to mop everything up. Gets its beam on one more Stang, and that will be turned to rust and bolts.
A huge win for round 1.
Now, see how see the shape that the opponent has made in the top left opposite QUAK Duck. This is an absolute disaster on there, as it can be, and you can I'd be dropping at least one missile on there just every round so that he knows how badly he's placed his things, as you're getting such high value per 50. I mean, it's bold, it's interesting, but grouping things together in such a fashion is,
because even if he was to put bubble shields, they're still going to walk out of those bubble shields.
That's all. That's it. The shield would then defend the missile, but you really don't want to be in a position where you're thinking like, oh geez, do I need to just pull a shield over my chaff round 1 because I've put them in a very unique pattern. Nice. I mean, I like that it's a pair of boobs.
It's nice.
That's awesome.
It's nice.
Or it could be balls. He may be extending the cock on this turn.
see.
Will the flagpole go up
We'll
from the
see.
middle magnificently?
And then over with GOOSe.
The goose side of thing, and look at our guys here. They've spread themselves wonderfully. They're in a great shape. They've taken the middle of the board. I mean, by the book, this is theirs all day long.
And surely Duck's opponent has basically, made the whole game harder for both sides by not covering the middle.
That is, it's how it looks to me.
Set
Again, I'm not a huge 2v2 player. I may have missed something. There may be a new meta that I'm not aware of. But right now, I think he's done bad.
Okay.
The missiles go in here, and that's the end of all of that. He's whacked in a flank. He's gone for a cheeky back play. Little typhoony backstop. That's nice.
And some crawlers.
So his towers are down though because he's got nothing there at all. It's a lofty play, and he's experimenting, of course. It's good to see people experimenting,
especially when they're coming up against QUAK Gaming. Okay, looks like Simon's opponent put up
a load of wasps there this time, and that they've come through.
And his flank didn't even get anywhere near a tower.
And I mean, there's all kinds of plays. But now the Typhoon is one of the strongest flanking units because of that bubble shield it can do. So it can pop one of those out and then protect all the small things around it. So it can really worry into you. But they are pretty vulnerable to a couple of counters. You can either put crawlers right next to them and then a pack of balls horizontally, and that will just take them straight out.
And we're just moving over to Duck to see the selection on this card because I see something he might like.
There's a worm there. It's a worrying thing, the worm. There's also a very
especially when you're in the studio
Phoenix,
and you can hear Duck giggle to himself.
A Duck worm play. We've not seen it yet. He is a worm gamer, but
specialist, some would say.
It's gone. It seems to have gone Phoenix here. Another interesting play you can do with the deep flank there is you can just hack it and take the unit.
Sure. Because you've got time before it lands.
That's it. You can
your unit can start to attack and whichever way.
Busy it with something, missile something. He's going quite close with the Phoenix. It is an anti-air unit. The Typhoon as well. So this is another answer here. The fire. Oh wow! So I mean, those fire badges are really going to do.
We can probably assume that those fire badges will level up.
Patch of chaff there.
And we can probably assume they're going to level up relatively quickly.
It's going to be a
murder,
quick burn.
The murder that they're about to do.
Bulls will come in. The storm quarters are going to be raining on the bulls. I like the range on them there as well. They'll just be tickling that chaff a little bit earlier. It's nice stuff. And he's going with a heavy flank here.
Okay,
on there. It's he'll almost certainly be taking bubble next round. So a definitive answer going to be required, but these Phoenix just picking them from a really wondrous range. Yeah. Look at this. Just
absolutely
perfectly done.
That.
The placement Duck has used there, just beyond, just formidable, just magnifique. And he's walked through. It was a heavy flank. It's been dealt with, but next time they are going to be straight out there. Meanwhile, on the other side of the street, these wasps are tickling away, but there's a wraith that's going to come over and pop those off. A cheeky badger comes in. Phoenix nicely, and everything cleared here. The bros just supporting each other magnificently. That's quacking excellent.
Another big win as well. The other team, Red have got to be. And a question came in while we were on break from our good friend Coach Rupert Wilson on YouTube, who asked what team I was supporting, red or blue.
Thanks for getting in touch, Coach. The friendlies team is almost always blue. On there with the occasion, if you choose to spectate, that's not going to be how it is. But from us, because we're Our feed comes straight from the raw bellum.
Yeah.
It will always be blue, always blue,
Yeah.
always blue,
And also-
always blue.
And
You
also
know
we're
the
trying
chant.
to keep our team will always be on the bottom of the screen as well. So the enemy's there, but we're flicking between the two different players.
That's right.
So some great cards here. Ugly cards, actually.
So any more questions, Coach Rue? You get in touch.
Yeah, keep them coming. We're checking the feeds, and hopefully that helps. But listen, this is an easy game to understand first time. I believe there might have even been a message from the other player in the in-game chat.
Oh, a message. Is Must and Wasp chaff too? It seems like a very beginner question there.
Right.
Perhaps he was
And
inquiring
what was
of
that
his
nonsense?
teammate.
What was he asking?
That is, are the units,
Well, the units, you're talking about him now.
also the eunuchs. There are Mustangs, and sorry, what was the other thing? He was asking if 2 medium units are classed
And
as
wasps.
chaffs and wasps. And late game, they could be. They could be, is
Sure.
the answer. Wasps, yes, probably Mustangs, not, ideally, but sometimes the wasps will just be in support, tying up a melter, something like that. And the
And
world
more
is on
krakens.
fire here. There's a lot of fire. We've got a few wraiths out. That's going to be difficult to do. He's whacked the old missiles on his boys. There here it is. See the typhoons. They start to come into their own in the second round on the flank.
So they've now upgraded from doing just shooting to shooting.
So yeah,
missiles.
it's just so that first thing as you saw when the flank first comes in, it's fuzzy, so it takes I think 3 seconds to deploy in. But from that moment, it's just there and ready. So this round he's straight in, and he's clicked a tech on there. He's put the homing missile on.
Right.
So every X seconds, maybe 20, they will release a barrage of missiles, which just sniped the tower last time. And something will have to be done about that.
And what kind of counters can you do?
For me, I'd be going balls and crawls. So where the crawlers are now, and then some steel balls as well to get the
Crawlers
lock.
to keep them entertained.
Yeah, balls to get the lock straight on, and then even if they put the shield on, the balls will cut straight through the shield and then get the lock straight on the target behind. On there, the alternative is hackers.
Sure, but with this many,
perhaps Scorpion. So the hacker thing's really not in that you get one, and then that one becomes yours and slows them down. Then you get 2. But as you say, it was probably better to get that going when we first saw one than now. Anyway, we'll see what Duck chooses. Goose has put Electro on his Wasp, so he'll be turning off the tech and slowing down anything that they hit.
Oh, really?
I'm not seeing a direct answer to the wraiths yet. Those are causing the wraiths, those flying saucer type
Flying
aircraft,
saucers, yeah.
they are really quite good at dealing with wasps as they do air splash damage.
Right.
So they'll hit multiple targets
right.
at the same time. So they'll just take that whole pack out in one barrage. Not only that, they've got range, so they'll just gel them. Here before they even get to shoot. They're gelling them. But at least that pack drew the wraith back, and so these wasps gel in and rain a billa sadness down on the sledges, but that wraith is just mopping them up.
Wow.
Over there, and over on Duck's side, it looks like we've got a bit of a typhoon swarm marching in here. And
that's game.
Ouch.
And that's game.
Ouch. My balls.
And that, folks, is Mechabellum.
And that's Mechabellum.
That's how it turns. That's how the cookie crumbles.
I hope you really enjoyed it. Us talking along, the guys playing along this evening. This has been Minor Points. I've been DB Quackapilla.
And I've been QUAK Duck. We've been watching the wonderful QUAK Duck. And my man QUAK GOOSe sitting next to me. Sorry, I was looking over at everybody. And we'll catch you on the next stream. Take it easy.